this morning, I want to speak to the Honorable Sports Minister.
Okay.
You see, the Sports Minister has shown bravery. He has been bold. He has been strong to work on this tangent. Okay? This is an area no sports minister has dared try to delve into.
Okay.
Okay? All the sports ministers we've had, they only go to parliament, tell us budget estimates, and give us the actuals, and then that's it, they go home.
Some don't actually do.
Yes. So for Honorable Kofi Adams to walk on this tangent, to walk on this road, this very muddy, rough, undulating, crooked, twisty, bumpy road of delivering budget estimates and approved budgets for Black Stars games, I think that he needs to be commended. Okay? Me, when the minister was not disclosing the budget, I sat on this show.
Yes.
And I criticized my former biology teacher.
Yes.
I criticized him.
Yes.
For not delivering the budget. And my sermon that day was to the president.
Yes.
That Honorable Kofi Adams had disobeyed his orders.
Yes.
True or false?
I remember that. Very true. And the records are there to show.
If today, Honorable Kofi Adams has done the bold thing, has done the brave thing of disclosing the budget, I think that it will be important that before I start going into the matters, I commend the Honorable Sports Minister.
Okay.
And I congratulate him for being bold, for telling Ghanaians what their monies have been used for, or what their monies are going to be used for, and how much he has saved for the good people of Ghana. He deserves commendation.
Okay.
When I finish disclosing what he has done, if the callers, if the listeners feel he needs more commendation, fair enough.
Fair point.
But our attempt to break down what the minister put out yesterday for everybody to understand. Nathan, when we say Black Stars budget, what is it? The Black Stars budget clearly deals with the needs of the team going into games. Okay? From flight arrangements to accommodation to player meals to bonuses of players, per diems, technical team members, all the other support services, whatever they need to make sure they are comfortable enough to go and deliver for the nation is captured in the budget.
SportyFM.
Who creates the budget? The budget is created by the sports ministry, by the Ghana Football Association.
Yes.
Who hold the national team in trust for the state.
Yeah.
When the sports ministry prepare that budget, which you call budget estimates,
Yes.
it is then forwarded to the sports minister or the sports ministry for them to take further action in terms of approving it, agreeing with what the figures are, or disagreeing. And then from there, they would also carry on with their processes to make sure those budgetary allocations are approved by government, and the monies are released through the finance ministry, the controller and accountant general, and the Bank of Ghana.
Yeah.
All those arrangements would have to happen. That is when
SportyFM.
the budget is approved. Okay. So that is how the cycle runs. So the sports ministry is not responsible for preparing the budget. So it is the Ghana Football Association that will tell the sports ministry what they need to go and play match against Comoros, match against Mali, match against Chad. Now, Nathan, what has been the practice in the past? When the budget is sent to the sports ministry,
So the budget is prepared by the GFA, looking at all the needs in relation to a match or some matches.
thank you very much. What has happened in the past? In the past, Nathan, specifically dealing with the 2026 World Cup qualifiers.
Yes.
Specifically, the practice has been that the budget will be sent to the FA, from the FA to the sports ministry, from the sports ministry to government, approvals will be made and money will be released. Now the question you ask is, before Honorable Kofi Adams took over,
SportyFM.
match day 6, match day 5, match day 7, match day 8, we had already played 4 matches.
Okay.
Match day 1 against Madagascar, November 2023.
Okay.
We had already played against Comoros November 2023.
Yes.
21st November 2023.
Yes. So we won one game and then lost the second.
We played against Mali June 6, 2024.
Yes.
And then we played
Japan
against Central African Republic June 9, 2024.
Okay.
Those were the 4 games that we had already played.
In the World Cup qualifiers.
In the World Cup qualifiers.
Okay.
Now, in the budget estimate that the FA sent to government, advance party, total cost $10,000, airfare, Accra, Moroni, Accra, chartered flight $200,000, accommodation, single players singles, 19,500, accommodation official singles, 19,500, and it went on. Meals $80 a day, that amounted to 12,480. Facility user fees. So when they travel, there are facilities they use there. They have to pay for them. So rental charges, they pay $2,000. That was $4,000, and then per diems for players. When they travel out, it's $150 for players, it's $200 for officials. So that came up to $27,300 for players.
$150 for players,
yes.
$200 for officials. Okay.
Then it came to $37,800 for officials. Medical expenses, in case somebody gets injured, all of those things. There are incidentals, so there's an imprest which is accounted for $60,000. Player bonuses, and I'm dealing with our first 4 games. Player bonuses, you have $10,000 for each player. So that came up to Nathan, quickly. Good. That came up to $260,000.
$260,000.
Yes. Then you have bonus for the head coach, $20,000. You have bonus for assistant coaches, $40,000. So it's 10,000 times 4. And then you have bonus for team doctor, team physio, team physical trainer, 2. Video analyst, 2. Team coordinator and admin. You have $8,000 for 8 individuals. That came up to $64,000. Okay?
Yes.
And then you have bonus for kids officer, welfare, masseur, media, cameraman, and dietitian. You have 8 again, and that comes up to $8,000 per head, and that comes to $64,000. And then you have bonus for officials.
Yes.
Management committee members, 6, $10,000 each. That came up to $20,000. That came up to $60,000 for 6.
Okay, so in for the first 4 games, the player bonus was $10,000. I just want to touch on some of the main things.
Very well.
Player bonus $10,000.
Yes.
The coach's bonus was
$20,000.
$20,000. So the head coach's bonus was $20,000.
Yes. Assistant coaches $10,000.
Okay.
And then you have the team doctor, physios, all of them earning $8,000.
Yes.
There are 8 of them.
Yes.
And then you have the kids officer, welfare officer, masseur, all of them, 8 of them again, all taking $8,000. That came up to another $64,000. Then the bonus for for officials, who are the management committee members, that came up to $60,000. So $10,000 times 6.
Okay. Before you proceed, let me just announce that we are live on Facebook at SportyFM. We are live on YouTube as well, and we are on channel 0065 on Multi TV audio channel.
So that was typical away game where you would have to incur heavy costs in terms of chartering flights. So that was a typical budget estimate for an away game.
Yes.
Now let me give you the home game for Ghana against Madagascar.
Yes.
Then the conversation can follow from there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because these budget line items, they cut across all the budgets. Okay? Apart from the ones that were expunged by the sports minister.
Yes.
These budget line items cut across. Now, Nathan, when a team is hosting a game at home, there are certain responsibilities. Buying tickets for match officials to come here, paying indemnity for match officials and the officials designated by CAF. And then you also deal with transportation for the away team that is coming here.
Yes.
So there's provision for saloon cars and 4x4s for some of their team officials, as well as a bus for the team.
Okay.
All of those things, the host team would have to take care of them.
Yes.
Okay. Now, typical budget, Ghana-Madagascar, November 17, 2023. So tickets for players to come here, tickets for our players to come home, 28 of them, $168,000. Then you have accommodation for the players, single rooms, $200, accommodation for officials, single room, $200. All of those ones are here. And then you have meals for the players, internal transport, fuel for bus. Nathan, fuel for bus, $5,000.
Yeah.
Then you have per diems for players, $150, and then $200 for officials. Then you have the incidental $60,000, medicals $10,000, bonus for players $10,000, bonus for coach $20,000, assistant coaches $10,000, and then the medical officers, the physiotherapists, all of them $8,000, the kidsman, the dietitian $8,000. Again, all of those ones coming to $64,000. Then bonus for officials again. Bonus for officials.
Yes.
So if they win the game, management committee members will take $10,000 times 6, $60,000. Then you have the transportation for the match officials, accommodation for match officials, then the internal transport for the team, 4x4 vehicle, saloon cars, and then you have the indemnity payment, then bus for the away team, and then away team local transport. That's also taken care of. The leader of their team, that's $1,000. So Nathan, when you look at the two budgets submitted for those two games, our first two games, 1 and 2, the game against Madagascar came with a total budget of $963,060. Then our first game that we played away against Comoros, the budget came up to $908,580. Okay. So that was what the FA submitted to the sports ministry. Then.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, it will shock you to note that in our first 4 games, in our first 4 games, the budget that the FA submitted to the sports ministry was approved, and same was allocated for the team to be used for those 4 games. So there was no reduction, there was no cut anywhere, there was no scrutiny to say, oh well, this cost shouldn't be in there, this cost component should be in there, this budget line item shouldn't be in there. It was approved as sent. So for our first 4 games, Nathan, the first 2 games cost the state $1,871,640 Ghana cedi dollars.
Can you mention that number again?
$1,871,640.
Okay.
So if you want to round it up, we are doing $1.8 million for 2 games.
SportyFM.
Then in our next 2 games, which we played against Mali in June and Central African Republic again in June 2024, Nathan, the budget estimate from the FA, factoring all the budget line items I've already spoken about, the estimated budget from the FA was $1,161,310 US. That budget was approved. Okay? Now, for a game against Central African Republic, which we played in Kumasi, the estimated budget was $735,400 US. Again, that figure was approved.
Okay.
So, for our first 2 qualifiers and our 3rd and 4th games we played, the 3rd and 4th games we spent $1,896,710. Those budgets were approved as sent.
They were approved as sent. No changes were made.
No changes were made. Okay? Fully approved. First 4 games. Now, Nathan, let's come down to what happened match day 5 and match day 6. Now, Nathan, when the new sports minister came into office, the FA prepared another budget estimate. Same values. As I explained, all the budget line items that I've spoken about earlier. They presented a budget of $961,660 United States dollars for the Ghana versus Chad game. Okay? And then presented a budget of $958,580 for the Ghana versus Madagascar game.
Okay.
Now, when this document got to the sports ministry, the sports minister sought to ask questions. Sought to and why certain items were in the budget.
Okay, so if I get you right, the amounts for or the proposed budget for games against Chad and Mali were almost similar to what had been done in terms of match days 1 to 4.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Listeners, I hope we are all following the conversation. Sometimes I ask because I know in your mind you want to ask, so I ask on your behalf.
Yes.
So this is where we are. Yes. So they brought a similar looking budget concerning match days 1 to 4 to the new sports minister.
You are correct.
Okay.
Now, Nathan, when this budget came, the sports minister sought to understand why certain items were in the budget.
SportyFM.
Okay. So he sought to question why management committee members would receive $10,000 times 6.
Okay.
He sought to understand why they had to spend $5,000 for internal transport for the bus, for fuel for the bus. He sought to understand why players were taking $10,000 as winning bonus. Sought to understand why the coach was taking $20,000 as winning bonus. He sought to understand all of those things. Now, after getting to understand all of those things, Nathan, the sports minister now decided to make certain cuts or to call for certain items to be reduced to make sure the budget is reduced. So part of it included the player bonuses, which was now reduced from 26 players times 10, which would be $260,000 to $130,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then the head coach's winning bonus was reduced from $20,000 to $10,000. Assistant coaches
SportyFM.
who were also going to take $40,000, 4 of them, it had to be reduced to $5,000 for one.
Okay. So
Okay.
from what
So
was the previous
it was
amount?
10,000.
10,000
It
to
was
now
half.
5. Okay.
You get it?
Yes.
Then the backroom staff, those who were taking $8,000,
Yes.
it had to be reduced as well to $4,000. Kidsmen, all of those ones. So all those reductions were done. So almost every figure was halved. Now, the management officials, whose $10,000 times 6 amounted to $60,000, the minister totally cancelled it.
Okay.
Okay, so those were the adjustments that were made to budget for match day 5 and match day 6.
Match day 5 and match day 6, meaning matches against Chad and Mali, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So now in total, for those 2 games, the GFA submitted a budget of $1,920,240 United States dollars. When the minister did his deductions, or when the minister called for the reductions,
SportyFM.
for the 2 games, we eventually spent $1,230,840. So the ministry realized a saving of $689,400 USD.
Okay. I see.
So
the new
initial-
amount looks like what? 1.3 million.
So we could say 1.25 million
1.25 million as against
as against the 1.920 million
okay.
dollars that the GFA had proposed.
For our listeners, if you go to our stream, you can find there's a graphic detailing the estimated budget versus what has been approved by the GFA. When you can find the graphic there, it's rolling on our stream, especially for those on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes. So Nathan, so it is clear that match day 6 and match day 5, the estimate that the FA brought was not fully approved, but was subjected to revision, and in the end, the taxpayer was saved some $689,400 United States dollars.
Okay.
Now to budget for the upcoming matches, Mali and Chad.
Mm-hmm.
The FA again presented a budget of $1,239,090 US dollars for the sports ministry to approve
Yeah.
for the Chad game, and also presented $814,150 United States dollars for the Mali game, which brings the budget to a total of $2,053,240 United States dollars. Now, when the sports ministry received this document,
Yes.
again, the minister subjected the values to the same reduction method he used for match day 5 and match day 6. In the end, The Chad budget was reduced from 1.239090 US dollars to 856,890 United States dollars.
So the budget that was initially presented to the minister was about 1.3 million.
Yes.
For the Chad game
For the Chad
alone.
game alone.
All right.
Now the minister got it reduced to about $850,000.
Okay.
Now for the Mali game, the budget, which was 814,150, was now reduced to 463,600 United States dollars.
From the original amount.
From the original amount of $814,000.
That's for the Mali game.
For the Mali game.
Okay, so it went from 850,000
to 464.
to 464,000. Okay.
So in the end, for the two games we are going to play against Chad and Mali, the total budget that has been approved is 1,320,490 United States dollars.
Okay. Now
again,
okay. I wanted to ask you as against what would have been the other amount, assuming no cuts were
assuming
made.
no cuts were made.
Yes.
It would have been 2,053,240 United States dollars.
All right.
So again, a savings of 732,750 was made by the state after reviewing the budget estimate sent by the FA. Okay?
Okay.
So in total, the two games or the four games that were played, match day 5, match day 6, match day 7, match day 8, the taxpayer has been saved a whopping 1,422,150 United States dollars.
To cover matches against Chad and Mali, right? And to cover which matches again?
The previous games we played against Chad and Madagascar.
Okay.
So savings of some $1.4 million has been made.
So across the four games,
two
that have been played already, and the two we are about to play, about $1.4 million.
Absolutely.
An amount of $1.4 million has gone into the pot because we decided to cut off or cut out certain things.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Now, Nathan, one very important question that many have been asking is that why would management members be paid winning bonuses of $10,000, 6 of them amounting to $60,000?
Yes.
Why would the Timbers be fueled for $5,000 when Goyle is a sponsor of the Black Stars? What was that money going into? What was that money meant for? Again, another question that was asked was that if the players are taking $10,000 as winning bonus and it's been brought down to $5,000, and the coaches has also been dropped from $20,000 to $10,000, same for assistant coaches, also dropped from the initial $10,000 to $5,000, then it means that a lot had gone under the bus. In our first 4 games, we had paid so much money in our first 4 games without any scrutiny, without any plans of revision. It has cost the taxpayer a lot of money. Why was that the case? Okay? And Nathan, you see, let nobody think that this is about politics. The argument for the first 4 games could be, well, we haven't been to the World Cup in a while, so let's give the team everything they want for them to go and deliver. That could be the argument from the previous government.
Yes.
But again, another government wants to look at it from the perspective of savings. Can we save the taxpayer some money and still get the performance out of the boys? If that is possible, and I am told that all of these reductions and deductions, the FA fully complied and were in agreement with whatever the minister proposed.
Okay.
So there was no animosity. The FA did not fight back. The FA did not challenge some of the figures that were penciled for reduction or expand to be expunged.
Yes.
Okay. So whatever happened with regards to those budget and those budget approvals, the FA complied with everything the sports ministry put on the table. Were in agreement where they had needed to explain why those expenses were necessary. They did same. Where the minister also felt his position was that that expense was not necessary, they were in agreement and it was taken out. In the end, Nathan, we get to spend less on the 2 games we are about to play compared to the initial estimate that was brought. In fact, Nathan, an estimate is not the final.
Of course.
So whatever the FA brought, indeed, was not the final. It was subject to interrogation. It was subject to further scrutiny by the sports minister and the sports ministry. And if indeed they felt that we needed $2 million to go and play 2 games,
that would have been approved.
That would have been approved.
Yes.
But once they felt that savings had to be made, savings were made in those regards, and it has saved the taxpayers some more money. That was the reason why yesterday the sports minister called the press conference to get the good people of Ghana to understand some of these issues. I spoke about interest of $60,000. It had been reduced to $20,000.
So the interest was accidental. So it's just money that's sitting there to take care of any unplanned thing.
Okay. It was removed. Facility user fees was removed entirely for the games that we are about to play. And a few other things were also reduced. So, Nathan, if you look at the documents that have been produced, that have been provided, the players per diem in camp, the match officials, all those expenses have been well calculated. Kids, officers, media, security, all of them, an amount of $72,000 was budgeted.
SportyFM.
The minister got it reduced to $32,000, making savings of $40,000 there. Assistant coaches, we are told the figure came up to $30,000. 3. Now it has been reduced to $15,000. Okay. Player bonuses $260,000 slashed to $130,000. Head coach $20,000 slashed to $10,000. These are the savings the sports ministry and government made on the game we are going to play against Chad this week. And then you look at the Mali budget as well, and then same has been applied to make sure that no expense. Again, if you look at that the game against Mali, the bonuses again $260,000 slashed to $130,000, head coach $20,000 slashed to $10,000, assistant coach $30,000 slashed to $15,000, backroom staff, the block staff, it was $90,000, it was slashed to $36,000. Support staff services $72,000 has been slashed to $36,000. Management officials has been completely removed. $60,000
for the Chad and Mali games, right?
Chad and Mali games.
But
So
what about
all of these adjustments?
What about the previous games?
That was what I explained to you earlier. The previous games against Chad and Madagascar.
Yes.
So it was the same. So same, just that there were times that the officials may be more. Okay. So maybe in the game against Chad, for instance, if there were 8 officials who were part of that medical.
No, I'm talking about the management committee.
It was also taken out.
So for the previous game,
It was taken out completely. So for match day 5, match day 6, match day 7, match day 8, no management committee member was paid $10,000.
Okay.
But in the first 4 games, they were paid.
Okay.
You get it. So
right.
It was part of the sweeping changes the minister made to the budget. Now, Nathan, if you are satisfied with the figures that have been put out, and you understand the effect of the minister's revision or the minister's scrutiny, then I think that it will be fair to say that the minister has done well to reduce the Black Stars budget. You can make the argument that, it's still high. $1.2 million is too high. You can make that argument. But when you look at the individual cost components, accommodation, flying the players in, flying the players out on charter flights and all of those things, Nathan, that one alone takes about half of the budget. So the question now remains, how do we manage some of these expenses moving forward? We've had the idea being mooted of a national career. If it happens,
This is
good enough.
SportyFM, the voice
Whatever
of
payment will be
sports.
made may not be up to say $300,000. If there's a new presidential jet, maybe it will be big enough to manage a contingent of 36 to N'Djamena or wherever they have to play their qualifiers. That is also a remote possibility. All of these things can happen. Again, if we are talking about hotel accommodation and meals per day, maybe in future we could have our own accommodation for players. We could
Yes.
have our own team hotel.
Yes.
Maybe at Pram Pram or wherever it will be situated. All of those ones can further reduce the expense on the senior national team, the Black Stars, when they have to convert here to play matches. All of these ones are cost cutters that in future we may be looking at.
Okay.
So for now, this is what we have. Now, what is instructive with this budget is that if the team fails to win, the approved budget reduces again, because some $130,000 as winning bonus will not be paid. Some $10,000 will not be paid. Some $50,000 will not be paid to the team and the technical members as winning bonus. So that must also be on record. If the team fails to win, that approved budget of say $1.3 million for the next 2 games will drop, considering the fact that payment will not be made for winning bonuses. So Nathan, this is in a nutshell the budget that was presented for the next 2 games and the explanation behind or the reasons why we've seen a reduction from the first 4 games we played. And I must say that based on what I heard, the FA were fully compliant, were in full agreement to the cuts that were made to the budget, just so the state can save some money.
Thank you.